Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a whole new episode of Full Steam Ahead. I'm your host, Zoe, with my co-host on the other side, Cantu. How's your weekend, my man?
Good, good. It was a great weekend. Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. We had dinner with my wife, and celebrated everybody. And excuse the title. I know it says Astroscape is sweeping the Bronx, but it's this episode's called Tigers Have Been Tamed. So
Shoot. I guess we weren't
yeah,
ready for it. We'll
it's
fix
all
it.
good. It's all good. No, it's all good.
No,
Just
we'll
keep it
fix it.
running.
Well, yeah, we'll fix it, obviously. But yeah, like Angel said, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there who do everything for their kids. And, even if you have aunts that do things for you, your grandmother, all them,
Absolutely.
everybody out there who does a lot for their family. Shout out to y'all. Y'all make everything better, like for us. Like I know what my mom does a lot. I know I can speak for your mom and your grandmother as well. So shout out to all the moms out there. Hopefully everybody had a great weekend and celebrate that day. But obviously, Angel, shoot, the title says that, which I'll fix the title here in a minute. But we're going to title episode 178 Astros Tame the Tigers. Reasoning we didn't do an episode on Sunday night is because of Mother's Day. We're all celebrating
Of
that day.
course.
But today we're back. We're live Monday night. Astros got a big win against the Oakland Athletics. We'll go over that recap of game one of that A's game, and then obviously the Tigers series. We have a Carne Asada this time, Angel. We have a
Yeah,
Carne
we do.
Asada this time. So
We
who's
do.
invited to Carne Asada? Pitching preview, stopping at the train station for a lot of Astros updates on injuries, DFAs especially, and rumors as well. And then a little bit of around the horn. But Angel, you want to get everybody started on where to follow us and all that when I fix the title.
Absolutely, yeah. As you can see in the ticker, we're on TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. You can follow those at FSA Full Steam Ahead on Instagram as well. We're everywhere where you need to be. One stop shop. Also follow us. We need more subscribers on YouTube. We're on Apple Podcast, and also on Spotify podcast as well. And wherever you get your podcast, we are there, up and loaded for you all.
Yep, just like up and loaded now. The new title's up there. Astros tamed the Tigers. Obviously, it was a big series win that the Astros needed. We had talked about it when we're at the White Rhino that the Astros needed to get this series win against the Detroit Tigers. They are a great team. They're playing great baseball, but when you look at the rotation, when you look at the lineup, and you set the numbers aside and put the paper together with both rosters, the Astros are just too talented to not go over there and have a series to win. So we'll recap that here in a minute. Joshua, hey guys, how's it going, Josh? We haven't heard from you in a while. Astro Wharf Craig, it's been a while since we have seen this guy on here. Howdy. Yeah, howdy to you, of course. Texas A&M as well. The gigs, the Ags. I don't know if you saw the merchandise today about that with old Sarge on there. It looks
Yeah,
pretty
old
nice.
Sarge coming, making a comeback.
It looks really nice. But the Astros get a 16-25 record after winning game one of this series against the Oakland A's. Real quick, we'll talk a little bit about it. Like we said, Spencer Arrighetti gets his first win as a Houston Astro after what, 6-7 career starts. Gets his first win, so he looks really good on the bump. His breaking ball command, Angel, was really great. It was low in the zone, getting hitters to miss, 12 swing and misses as well. He finished his stat line with 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. I think the Astros really needed this start from Spencer Arrighetti to start the homestand off on a great note. And he went out there, did a fabulous job. Offense kind of gave him a little bit of comfort as well. And sure enough, got that first win. That's huge on his part. I wonder if he got the scorecard like how usually Dusty Baker would do for a rookie after getting their first major league hit.
Absolutely, and I do agree with you 100%. Spencer Getty has looked better. That's his third straight start going 5 or more innings as well. So really good.
Yeah, definitely. And then not just that, but the command was an issue the last start. If you remember against that the New York Yankees, he just left a lot of breaking balls in the zone. A lot of fastballs were flat right down the middle. You saw what the damage was done. Giancarlo, Aaron, and Juan Soto, what they were able to do hitting the long ball over there. But this time against the Oakland Athletics, like I said, their roster is not the strongest, is not the biggest kind of names you would see in the lineup, but you got a guy like Shea Langoliers who's been hitting the ball pretty well. Abraham Toro's been getting a little hot lately, which is a former Astro as well. So they do got some hitters in that lineup, but of course Spencer Arrighetti getting that first win, that's a huge shout out to him being able to get that dub in his pocket. And then, real quick, I mean, speaking of the offense, I mean, 9 runs, that's huge. But Alex Bregman is probably the biggest of them all, trying to get him going in this lineup. And sure enough, Breggy did. What a fabulous job he did today in the offensive standpoint. 3 for 3, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, a walk. I mean, he just looked comfortable at the plate, and he just looked like a different hitter, I would say. I haven't seen Alex Bregman hit like this since, last year. I wouldn't even say even the beginning of the season. He looks like a different, complete hitter, and I think the mindset just looks different in the batter's box as well.
And Lorenzo told me off air, so this is Lorenzo with the inside scoop, that he went to go hit early in the morning before the Minute Park even opened. So maybe that could kind of attribute it to that as well.
Yeah, definitely getting that extra reps. And if you did hear the broadcast after the game, he did shout out his wife for allowing him to do that. But yeah, when you're in a slump like that, I guess you got to do stuff. What you got to do, what you got to do, basically. And sure enough, I mean, Alex Bregman did that, and you see the results. I mean, usually he's been hitting a pop up here and there in the infield, and he was just driving the ball, Angel. I mean, the power looked right there. I mean, opposite field hit over Lawrence Butler's head and right, 2 home runs into the Crawford boxes. It was just a fabulous night overall for Alex Bregman. Even 1 through 4 of the lineup, I would say too. Everybody got a hit from Tucker, from Alvarez, and from Pena as well. So it was good to see that happening for Mr. Alex himself. But let's recap that Tigers series. And let's start off with the starting pitching, because starting pitching was a fabulous job over there in the Motor City, which the Motor City Tigers, I guess you could say, debuted their City Connect jerseys with the Astros. I think they wore like two out of the 3 games, I believe, for the Motor City Connect jerseys.
Yeah, I think one. I think it was just one.
Nah, I think it was. Oh, it could be. I
It
don't know. Either 1 or 2. Not 100% sure. But anyway, nobody cares about that. They do care about the starting pitching, because Framber Valdez, starting it on Friday night, did a fabulous job. 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. And what did I say, Angel? What did I say? What's going to have to work for Framber Valdez in order for him to come out with the win and help the Astros have a better spot to win that game?
It was that sinker, because I remember I was saying how hasn't been as effective as it used to be.
Yes, correct. The sinker and the ground ball. I mean, he generated 14 ground balls. There's only 1 double play, but hey, you take it. 60 sinkers were thrown out of 103 pitches.
That's crazy.
60 sinkers. That is absolutely nuts. But you see what that pitch does. And like Angel had broke down the stats last episode, I mean, he has a good feel of that sinker. He just hasn't been able to locate it in the right places. And this game against the Tigers, he did a really good job placing it in the zone and placing it where Victor Caratini, which I think now, honestly, looking at it, Angel, for going on through the rest of the season, maybe you're possibly going to see Victor Caratini behind that play. I think that was the 4th time Caratini caught Framber Valdez this season.
Yeah, and he even caught Arrighetti today, so that's that's something to keep an eye on too.
Yeah, you have to keep an eye on that. Maybe there'll be a change through the season seeing that, but we'll have to see about that. We'll script Christian Javier because we'll talk about him in the pitching preview. But Justin Verlander, vintage Justin Verlander for the Astros, just like he was pitching in his days with the Detroit Tigers from that rookie year. I mean, he just looked really good on the mound. Made another bounce back start. 7 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 8 strikeouts. 14 swing and misses. The fastball and breaking ball command, Angel, was fabulous. I mean, just everything was breaking for him. Fastball was just rising through the zone. He looked really good and comfortable on the mound, especially, I mean, shoot, how many years he's been pitching there? 13 years at Comerica Park with that organization. I think he has a great feeling on that mound. Obviously, at the end, he was kind of getting fatigued. You could see the command was starting to go a little bit there. But, I mean, just made an adjustment overall after that last start against the New York Yankees. I mean, he just looked dialed in this start against the Tigers. And sure enough, I mean, helped the Astros win and made it a happy flight back to Houston.
Absolutely. It was, that was a crucial game because, again, how the Astros have been trying to say win every series, and, they won the first one and the second one kind of escalated out of their control, unraveled really quickly for the Astros. So having your ace, Justin Verlander, come in and shut the door, it's a great taste in your mouth, which could have been, a fact of Monday's game too, where they just came out firing as well, and especially getting pitched a great game, and the offense was there.
Yeah, the offense really helped out him. I think the offense in general, I mean, the mid to late innings, they just been starting to hit a little bit better uh, as the Astros offense progressed. But let's talk about Hunter Brown because we had asked this question either the last episode or 2 episodes ago if it was time for Hunter Brown to maybe call it from the starting rotation and just maybe possibly start making a move to the bullpen. And I think from that game against the Tigers on Saturday, being able to pitch in your hometown, I think that's pretty cool. Putting a chariot on top, but 5 innings, 5 hits, gave up 1 earned run, no walks, and 7 strikeouts. 85 pitches, 60 of them were strikes. I just think honestly, dude, he just looked comfortable coming out of the pen. I think this might be the actual right move for the Astros right now. I would say, at least to get that confidence back for Hunter Brown. But I think the confidence just was there in that relief appearance for him after that rough start from Javier and then Taylor Scott and Joe Spada put him in that difficult situation just to get some innings, and I think he did a great job doing that.
Yeah, I do agree, but that little stint in the bullpen for right now is going to be short lived. The Astros are moving to a 6-man rotation, especially because of the long stretch of games without a day off. So Hunter Brown will pitch this weekend against the Brewers, but after that, I do agree with you. If the Astros do go back to a 5-man rotation, I wouldn't be surprised that Hunter Brown returns to that bullpen role. He did look comfortable, like you said. A little bit more zip on his fastball as well. Command was there too, so it really helped him out. But again, look for Hunter Brown to start at least maybe. I don't know how the future's going to look, but at least one more game, depending how healthy the Astros relievers are. Because they did lose some key acquisitions, waivers. We'll talk about that as well. But yeah, so look for one more start, but I wouldn't be surprised if a bullpen is in his future.
Yeah, Jose Urquidy will be coming out soon from that rehab, which we'll have a little bit of news on him later. But it'll be interesting to see what the Astros go on and see what they do with anything with Hunter Brown. They put him in the bullpen, or if they just stick him out and just put him in the rotation. Like Angel said, that 6-man rotation is going to be crucial, given the additional guys extra days of rest at least. But offensively, let's end it off on a good note, and that's Kyle Tucker. I mean, the King just continues to do Kyle Tucker things, King things. He just sits on the throne and just continues to hit the ball like nothing. 3 for 7, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, 4 walks. He leads the American League and Major League Baseball in home runs with 13 home runs. Last 7 games, Angel, he's been on a power trip, 5 home runs, 7 RBIs. He is slugging 833. So Kyle Tucker right now, what he's doing at this moment, I mean, it's very good for the Astros. I do wish Kyle Tucker would be in that 3 or 4 hole, but being in that 2 hole, I mean, still doing a good job. I'd say bring him back a little just to get another guy on base so he can have that RBI production of getting a 2-run, 3-run kind of homer. But hey, at the end of the day, whatever's working for them, I think they just got to continue doing that.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is why he's my first. Like he's the one that's cooking the meat for the Carne Asada because he's been on a tear. Like you said, home run leader. He passed Gunnar Henderson, passed Marcell Ozuna. They're both at 12. He's at 13. Went 3 for 7, like you said. 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, 3 runs, but also 4 walks, which is very, like when he's not getting those hits, he is getting on base, which led to those 3 runs, like in the Tiger series as well. Like he's doing it on both ends. And I think he's still 6 for 6 on stolen bases. I don't think he
Yeah.
attempted a stolen base yet.
Mm.
So that 30 play for Kyle Tucker is still looking pretty good. But yeah, everything is phenomenal for Kyle Tucker. That's where he is bringing the meat. The tortillas for my goodness has to be Justin Verlander. A key game, like I had mentioned earlier, that was a rubber match of the 3-game series. That is what the Astros needed to win to stay alive in the division and for the playoffs in general. I'm not going to read over the stats because Lorenzo did a phenomenal job on that. Who's bringing the rice? Framber Valdez. Again, excellent start after kind of faltering a little bit in his previous start, but he's looked a lot better there. But I did want to touch on Justin Verlander after the Yankees series. He did mention he wanted to work on being more deceptive on his pitches. After he got hit up by the Yankees, and apparently it worked because he pitched phenomenally there. And then someone we cannot forget who has been, and Lorenzo caught it since the get go. Jeremy Pena. He went 5 for 12, 1 RBI, 1 run, and a double. So he's seeing the ball really well. I think he's batting over 300 as well in the cleanup hole too. So I think that just shows how much confidence Joe Espada has in Jeremy Pena to contribute mightily to these Astros lineup.
Yeah, for me, I mean, putting him in the cleanup. I mean, we talked about it. He's usually a power hitter that's going to
Yeah,
be there getting that RBI production. But the way that Jeremy Pena's swinging that bat, I mean, by all means, leave him there. Whatever's working at this point, continue to use it, and until the wheels fall off. I would guess you would say. I
yeah.
do
If
have.
it,
Go ahead.
go ahead. No, go
No,
ahead.
go.
No, like I was just gonna say, like if it ain't broke, don't don't mess with it, right? But go ahead.
Yeah, Pena. I mean, Asherworth Craig makes a great point. Pena leading the league with hits right now. I don't know if it's American League. I want to say American League for sure, but in the MLB, I don't know if he's leading with hits. I could be wrong. If anybody want to double check that for us, by all means. I will say this for this Carne Asada, I think we should put Alex Bregman since we had game one of this.
Okay,
Have a little bit of Breggy Bomb in the
3 for
tacos.
3. Yeah.
3 for 3, yeah. So it could be a difference maker. What Bregman could be doing soon. What kind of meat is Tucker putting on the pit,
You know what? He looks like
or is he on the
a
Blackstone?
babe. He's on a Blackstone cooking up some burger. I think he's a burger guy.
A burger guy? Hmm.
Yeah,
Are we
but
talking about like smash burgers or?
smash burgers, of course. Yeah, they give me little good sauce with some cheese, grilled onions.
All right, you're making me hungry. You're making me hungry.
But to go with Astro World Craig, Pena's leading the American League in hits with 53. Altuve's right behind him with 52. So Mookie Betts and Otani are actually tied for the major, like both MLB leading hits with 58. So he's not too far behind.
Just imagine, just the way the lineup would be if you put Altuve, Pena, Tucker, Alvarez. It'd be interesting, but
I know
like we just said just now, just like we
Tucker's
said
having success in that too, ho. So don't touch
exactly.
that.
If it ain't breaking, oh man, yeah. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So just continue just to ride the wave, I guess you could say. But the pitching preview, real quick, since game one had already started, Ross Stripling got the loss. Spencer Arrighetti got the win. Oakland is now 19-24. They are 3-7 in their last 10 games. But let's get that Tuesday preview of this matchup for JP Sears, who is a 3.2, 4.20 ERA. 4.20 ERA. He'll be going against Ronel Blanco with a 4.0 record, 2.23 ERA. It'll be a 7:10 start time. But JP Sears, I mean, nothing usual with him. I think the Astros have seen him a bunch of times. Last start versus Texas, 5 2/3, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Last year against Houston, he had 3 starts. He was 1-1 with a 4.58 ERA, 11 strikeouts. In the last 2 games, the Astros did make an adjustment to him. He had a small number of strikeouts. That first matchup, he had 7, but the next 2, he had 3. And then his last start against the Astros, there was only 1 strikeout. So the Astros did a pretty good job not swinging and missing, not striking out looking, all that type of good stuff. But I will say this about Mr. Spears is the breaking ball is there for him. It's kind of a specialist, I guess you could say. 92nd percentile off-speed run value with 3, and then the 80th percentile breaking run value with 1. So he's really had the breaking ball, breaking stuff really there for him, especially with the sweeper this year, Angel. I mean, this year, it's a big gap. From 2023, he threw it 21.5% of the time. Now looking at 2024, about a 9% jump. 30.5 with the sweeper. So he's going to throw that ball a little bit more. He usually does throw it with his fastball, but the sweeper is not behind that being the best pitch in his arsenal. Last but not least, he does struggle in the second go around of the lineup. First through the lineup, he has really great success. He has a 137 ERA, opponent batting average of 111, and a 190 slugging. Well, the opposing team makes an adjustment, and then they do a lot of damage. And I mean by a lot. 689 ERA, 302 opponent batting average, and a 508 slugging. Angel, what do you think is going to be the key for the Astros to jump on Spears? You think it's going to be the sweeper? You think the second time around? What's it going to be for the Astros?
I think it's be a little bit of both. Like you said, that sweeper is phenomenal. A big increase from last year. I know it's still early on in the season, but last year his opponent batting average for the sweeper was 222, which is pretty good. This year is at 154. So a lot more. But the whiff rate for that sweeper last year it was at 30.9. It's at 18.3. So that tells me it's kind of like they're kind of adjusting to that pitch, like you said. So that makes perfect sense of why the second time around he's getting pretty lit up, right? So at first it's more like a visual guy, and it's gonna be interesting how the lefties handle JP Sears. Because again, Kyle Tucker and Jordan Albers typically hit lefties pretty well, but when you have nasty stuff like this coming from that same side, that lefty matchup could be um, pretty deadly sometimes, right? So I'm looking to see like guys like Jeremy Pena step up a little bit. I mean, which he has, right? But even more, Jose Altuve and the right-handed bats to get a little bit on JP Sears.
Yeah, Jose Altuve hasn't been hitting a little bit lately, but I mean, like you said, he's just right behind Pena for the American League hits, and there's a great opportunity just to maybe put one to the Crawford boxes, maybe a Jose Altuve leadoff home run. I think the Astros haven't seen that in a while. A lot of fans haven't seen that in a while from him. So
Yeah,
great
and the
opportunity.
thing with Altuve swing is like when he sees a lefty, I always want to think about that Aroldis Chapman slider, right? It just goes right into the tail, like to the swing path of his bat. So it might be interesting to see.
Yeah, got to keep an eye out on that. But Ronel Blanco, real quick, last started against the Yankees, 5 2/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts. The only thing I would say about him, don't give up too many walks. I think he's already had a season high of 4 walks. So if you're looking at 2 or 3, by all means, I think that's where you want to kind of control that walk rate. Really nothing to say about Blanco. He's been one of the most consistent starters for the Astros. I think every time he comes on the pitching preview, that's the really only thing I got to say. The changeups are really good for him through this point of the season, and just the command. I think you can just control your changeup, which the Yankees did a really good job making Blanco throwing that changeup out of the zone, trying to make hitters chase, but they just did not nib at it. And maybe with a team like the Oakland Athletics, there could be a chance that Blanco could fool them. Wednesday, 7:10 start time. They did not have anything for the Oakland Athletics coming in the morning, but now they have confirmed it was Aaron Brooks. He's on the
Rockets legend.
Athletics. Yeah, not Rockets legend of the point guard, but Aaron Brooks, as in the baseball player. He was on the Athletics taxi squad, so he'll be starting for the A's. Framber Valdez will be starting for the Astros. 2-1 record, 3.64 ERA. Brooks, though, I mean, he hasn't pitched in the big league since 2022. Angel will pitch the game since Paul Blackburn landed on the IL, which a lot of Astro fans should know because Blackburn's been pitching for the A's about 2 years now. He's pitched really well for them too, I would say. So they won't see Paul Blackburn this series, but 1-6 record, 4.57 ERA this year with the Las Vegas Aviators. That is their Triple A affiliate team, and opponent batting average is a 301 in the minors. So that's pretty deadly for him. He has a 5-pitch arsenal that I've seen. I don't know if he's changed it this year, but what you're typically going to see from him: sinker, changeup, four seam slider, knuckle curve. But there's a great opportunity for the Astros. If you look at the numbers right there that I just explained to you in the minors in Triple A, just think about it how it would be in the majors against a big league lineup like this. And he hasn't pitched in the big league since 2022. I think this is a great opportunity for the Astros to tack on and try to get to that bullpen early to make it on Thursday depleted as well.
Yeah, I feel that game's going to be a must win just to take advantage of a wounded Athletics rotation, you might say, because Blackburn, like you said, he's been seen by the Astros a lot. But he's actually been pitching pretty good this year as well. So, you know, very like not heartbreaking, but very crucial spot to get hurt because the Athletics have been doing pretty good this year. But I think Astros need to take advantage of that.
Yeah, they have a lot of pitchers on their IL, at least the starters. Alex Woods won. Now Paul Blackburn. Luis Medina is starting to get ramped up and get ready to make his season debut for the A's. So yeah, a lot of rotation, important rotation pieces in that starting rotation. Like I said, I mean it's very depleted. I kind of guess like similar to the Astros point of what they're dealing with right now.
Absolutely.
But Thursday, real quick, the Athletics haven't yet announced who's going to be the starter for that game. But the Astros did decide who they're going to pitch on Thursday, and that's going to be Christian Javier. 2-1 record with a 4.01 ERA. Thursday night game. It's not going to be a Wednesday or Thursday type of start time like 1:10. So it'll be a 7:10 start time. But Javier Angel, I think I kind of me and you had talked about it off air. Real quick, let's read these stats. Last start Detroit, 1 1/3, 5 hits, 7 earned runs, 4 walks, 0 strikeouts. That tied his career high with the earned runs 7. That's not a good stat you would like to hear. 50 pitches, 21 were strikes. Only got 2 swing and misses. I just think Javier just the command was just not there, man. Like just no secret about it. I mean, everything breaking ball to fastball, just nothing was there working for El Reptil. His last 2 pitches, I do want to say his four seamers was 90 miles per hour and an
Yeah.
89 miles per hour pitch. I gotta ask you, are you worried about the velocity, how it is for him right now? And do you think it was maybe a rush kind of getting Javier to come back to make kind of that not the rehab start, but obviously coming from that first rehab, you don't think they should have added on maybe getting him an extra one or maybe a third one?
Yeah. So I'm not worried yet. I feel like him making his way back from a long absence from the mound, and then coming, just having one rehab start. I'm not too worried yet. Now, if the trend continues, like in the next outing, using that same trend, or after that, then you're kind of looking a little bit more like, hey, this is something to take a closer look at. But I do agree, maybe with their record urgency to get back into lineup because they have this long stretch. It was like bad timing for Christian Javier to get injured because again, long stretch with no breaks. You got kind of help the pitchers out a little bit, so it could have been a little rush back. I could see that. So, which could have been a factor of why his velocity was down. It could have been arm fatigue again, coming from the rehab start, long absence from the mound. Probably wasn't just up to speed. Pitchers take a long, like we preach this a lot. Pitchers take a long time to get ready, and just throwing them in there without much practice or rehab to get into baseball games. Because you just saw the effects of what could happen, right? I think the Astros just had to make some tough decisions to get Christian Javier out to eat some innings out, but you know Christian Javier gives you like the best chance to win, so they're gonna try to have him out there no matter what. But I think it was a rush decision. Not for velocity wise, again, like I said, I'm not worried yet. If the trend continues, then it's something to keep an eye on. You're on mute.
Thank you. CJ's velo was down by Asherworth Craig, which, yeah, like we explained that in the last 2 pitches. Oh my gosh, I didn't think it was going to be that low, but maybe you
Yeah,
said, like you're saying, fatigue. But honestly, it could have been a good start for Hunter Brown to go out there and start the game and give
yeah,
Javier that extra day of another rehab start. Maybe I think that would have been the best bet in my opinion. I'm looking at Hunter Brown's stats career wise against the Tigers, a 2-0 record with a 3.92 ERA, 27 strikeouts. So
yeah.
I don't
But
know.
it's just a trend from Christian Javier. I'm going back from 2021. His fastball velocity in 2021 was 93.5. That was the average. 22, 93.8. 2023, 92.7, and then this year 92.0. But it's been a trend for all his pitches. If you if you look at the Statcast, all his pitches have been down. His knuckle curve from last year was 76.6. This year 75.5. His changeup last year was 83.7, 81.5 this year, and his slider, which I think has been very significant, a decrease, was 79.5, almost 80 miles per hour last year, 77.8 this year. So, and then if we look year by year, it's just a trend of his velocity going down each year. So, I mean, it's something to monitor for sure, but I don't know. It's just like I'm gonna need to see two more starts, maybe one or two more starts about the velocity, and then we'll talk about it a little bit more.
Yeah, I think honestly, like I said, in my opinion, I think the Astros should have maybe gave him another extra rehab start because I mean, even that first rehab start that he gave up 3 earned runs, and I know that you had mentioned like just don't look at the numbers of that rehab because you could go back and look at Justin Verlander's rehab start. You could look at Jose Urquidy, which we'll talk about here in a minute, his first rehab start. Yeah, the numbers don't explain very well, but you got to get him on a big league mound, and then you'll see how he goes. And just right there, it just showed. I mean, his first game back since April 14, I think that was the last time he pitched against the Texas Rangers. It just didn't look good for him. And I think, like I said, if Hunter Brown, the way he performed looked very well. He pitched in his home state, hometown as well, just or right there around, I think he went to Wright State University or Wayne State University, one of those schools, I think it would have been a great chance for him just to, I think, feel comfortable at home and be able to pitch over there, knowing family's going to be there too and start the game.
Yeah, but it also saves, he threw less pitches, typically less innings, less stressful situations. Maybe getting ready for this start because Milwaukee's not an easy task as well. You need a good and healthy Hunter Brown for that too. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, like we said, 85 pitches from Mr. Hunter Brown. I think 60 of them were strikes. If I could go back, I know 85 pitches for sure, but let me see. I had it right here. Yeah, 85 pitches, 60 of them were strikes. So he like I said, he looked really great out of the pen. Just could have maybe started the game, but like you were saying with Javier, you're gonna have to start somewhere.
Okay. And again, it was probably a tough decision to bring Javier this early, but the Astros have been filled with tough decisions this season, and there's been two recent ones surprising. Uh, if I do say so myself, but let me get you those. Brandon Bielak and Corey Jokes were designated for assignment in order to make room for Christian Javier on the 26-man roster. Astros designated Brandon Bielak for assignment. In addition, Astros claimed right-handed pitcher Alex Spears off waivers from the Oakland Athletics. They optioned him to AAA Sugarland, and to make that corresponding move, Corey Jokes was designated for assignment. Wow, I think two guys that played crucial innings last year for the Astros, and Brandon Bielak and Corey Jokes. And Brandon Bielak, who stepped up this year as well, I think he threw over 140 pitches in like 3-4 days span for the Astros this year to eat up some innings. Like, were you surprised by these moves, Lorenzo?
I was surprised on the Brandon Bielak. Corey Jokes, the Astros have a lot of outfield depth, and it sucks because for him, he's a hometown guy. He's one of the guys that's from Houston, played college ball over here at the University of Houston. I think that was a tough one for Corey Jokes as a player, or maybe even the organization as a staff, because I mean, what he did too last year when the Astros needed some outfielding depth, he did a great job when his name was called. Same thing as Brandon Bielak. I think that was the biggest one for me. I think that was very big because same thing as Corey Jokes. When his number was called, he did whatever he can to give the Astros, to save some of them bullpen arms, give some innings out. Like you said, he threw over 100 pitches in a 3-5 day span. So credit to Brandon Bielak. I know somebody out there is going to pick him up, and he's going to be utilized really well. He can maybe go to a contender, but for the Astros to DFA Bielak, I think that was a very, very tough decision.
Absolutely, and I think I texted you with that one. That was surprising for my part as well. Just because Brandon Bielak has meant so much for his organization. Again, like you said, whenever you needed a reliable pitcher, or like whenever the Astros needed a reliable pitcher, Brandon Bielak was there. Brandon Bielak's name was called, and he performed, to the best of his ability. And sometimes, yes, he has some starts, but for the most part, pitched some good quality innings for the Astros. I think he was a little fan favorite just for the fans and in that clubhouse as well. So it was a tough decision. I mean, I would say, again, I wouldn't want to be in that other side of that conversation, delivering the news, because I bet that was a tough one. Yeah, but trying to get, again, pitching has been the big deal for the Astros, and Jose Urquidy had a rehab start, like we told you he was going to have one. He pitched 2 2/3 of an inning, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, a walk, and 3 strikeouts through 46 pitches, 28 for strikes, topped off at 93. So very promising start for Jose Urquidy. He looked excellent out there. He said he felt comfortable as well. I know our friend Javier Gonzalez was out there talking to Urquidy. He said he felt fine. Like the way he worked on his mechanics, and probably would need 1 or 2 more rehab starts before he makes it to the major league mound. And Chas McCormick is out there too, over in Sugarland. Oh, I'm sorry, more on Jose Urquidy. He's probably going to pitch in San Antonio when the team is there too. So that's when his next rehab start will be there. But Chas McCormick went 2 for 5. Chas ran the base. He did DH that game, but he ran the base as well, and he'll start getting some work in the outfield tomorrow. Joe Espada said he'll play on Tuesday and Wednesday with AA Corpus Christi. So look for Chas McCormick get more reps in the outfield, and then I hope you didn't forget. I hope Astros fans didn't forget about this guy. But Jose Abreu is also getting some work. According to Brian Taggart, Espada said that Jose Abreu is doing well and getting 6-7 at bats per day. And West Palm Beach, he's facing live pitching as well. So promising stuff from the Astros who are trying to get back and ready.
Yeah, he said Jose Abreu though. I mean, he's just out there, like you were saying, facing live pitching, doing well. I think he's even with his family out there too, just trying to reset. I think there's no timetable yet for him, no timeline when he's set
Mhm.
to return. But um, the good news, I guess you could say, if you're Astros fans, is he's starting to see live pitching, 7 at bats a day. He's trying to work on something mechanically in his swing. I don't know if you caught on the Statcast now. They
Yeah.
measured the swing velocity or swing miles per hour. He had a 72.6 swing miles per hour swing velocity, like I said.
Mhm.
So that's pretty low comparing to swings like O'Neill Cruz, Giancarlo Stanton, Juan Soto. They were all right there, I think, in the hundreds or the high 90s. So that is two different numbers. My gosh, 70 something compared to the high 90s, 99 to 102 miles per hour on the swing on Statcast. So more information on that, you can just go check that out over there at Statcast. But that's the biggest thing for Astro fans. They're probably hoping that Jose Abreu could find a way to get that swing back and look like the player that he was like last year. I mean, 90 RBIs. You never know what can happen. Maybe Abreu does need this time to just get going.
Well, for the bat tracking, yeah, he was at 72.6, but the average is 75, so he wasn't
Not that too
too
far
bad.
behind them.
Yeah, and Altuve I think's in the 60s uh for bat speed too. I think the highest is Giancarlo Stanton with 80, so it's a
Damn,
pretty big number
I
there.
said 100.
No, 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 no. It's 80. So I think he's been the highest average, in the major leagues. He's the top one there. But yeah, oh no, Cruz is also on the list. I think he's at 76, 77 bat speed. So yeah,
Yeah, real quick, let's catch on the comments. Joshua, I'm sad to see Belak go as well as Corey Jokes. Asherworth Crates said Abreu ought to hit some infield practice too. I'm pretty sure he's getting some defensive
yeah,
drills out
I'm
there
sure he is.
going. But bring on the Blitz podcast. Awesome show as always, gentlemen. You guys always bring it. Shout out to them. Like I said, they are a part of the Skinner network for the podcast. So make sure you go give them a follow. Make sure you hear their latest episode out as they're getting ready for the Houston Texans season. I think the last episode was talking about Ben. I don't even know the guy's last name, honestly. Ben
Mhm.
Skowick? Something like that. New receiver that
Something
they
like that.
just landed from the Los Angeles Rams. But they have great, excellent takes, Houston Texans content, National Football League as well. So make sure you go give them a follow and check out their podcast episodes.
Yeah, absolutely. And then don't forget to subscribe to their channel as well. But is it too early to have rumors going on about trades and stuff like that? But they've been going on. We have a little rumor weird for you per Bob Nightengale notebook on the USA Today. Craig Kimbrough is currently mounting down. Yeah, they could take that however you want it, but mounting down, that's a big fancy word for it's probably not working out. But the Baltimore Orioles are interested in Astros reliever. Who would you think is catching the most attention right now for the Astros, like as a possible trade bait?
Probably Ryan Presley because he has 1 year left on his contract, I would say.
Yeah, I would say Ryan Presley. I would say Montero, but that contract is a big factor in that one. But yeah, it is Ryan Presley. Uh, the Baltimore Orioles actually have their eye on Astros Ryan Presley if their team become sellers at the deadline. And I quote, the Houston Astros plan to give rookie manager Joe Espada plenty of time to see if they turn their season around, particularly with their pitching injuries. But two prominent players have privately expressed complaints about Espada's communication skills in recent weeks. And it continues on. If the Astros miss the postseason and decide to make a change during the winter, the two hottest managerial free agents this winter are Alex Cora of the Boston Red Sox and Skip Schumacher of the Miami Marlins. I don't know. When you sent me this, like the first thing I asked was is it true? Because I don't know. I think just from we've seen, uh, like Espada's really active, like really a voice for that dugout, stands up for their guys. So seeing two prominent Astros complaining about his communication skills that really threw me off from what we've seen, right?
Mhm.
But I don't know. What's your take on that?
And look at the definition of prominent. Prominent, as the Cambridge Dictionary has it, Very noticeable, important, or
Hmm.
famous. The example they give us, if we're doing like a spelling bee, she plays a prominent role in the organization. I don't know. I don't see it like you're saying, like you're preaching. I don't see none of the guys having no issues. I think the communication that he does with his team, I don't see any issues. I'm shocked just reading it.
Yeah.
Just think about the infield: Alex Bregman, Jose Altuve, Jeremy Pena. I mean, even as the bench coach through the years, if the Astros wanted to get rid of the bench coach, which Joe Spada has been holding that position, I believe,
For
since
quite some time.
2018 or
Yeah.
2019. Yeah. So if they had any issues with him, he would have been shipped off a long time ago. So the
Yeah.
comments on that part, I just don't really buy on with it.
Yeah, and these are the same guys that vouched for Espada when they were, you know, in that managerial,
Mhm.
you know, finding. So again, I do agree with you there. I mean, I don't know. This reminds me of that newspaper article when the Astros started bad and they had the RIP and the grass. But it's just, little over exaggeration, I would say, on this part. I'm not too focused on that. And honestly, I don't see Alex Cora wearing an Astros uniform in a in the dugout
He was the
again.
bench coach for the Astros
You
in
know, that's what I'm
2017.
saying. Like again, like
Mhm.
I don't see that happening. Now,
Nah, just
and
like
but go ahead, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say just even two rookie manager, plenty of time to see if their seasons turn. I mean, the guy this season kind of compares to a David Culley season when the Texans. David Culley didn't have nobody like really healthy, and the same thing right here with Joe Espada. I mean, he don't have a lot of players healthy. Everybody has hit the IL. The starting rotation's been an issue because of the IL. The back end of the bullpen has been an issue, not because of Espada, but because of how the way they're producing. So you really can't put the blame on the manager. I mean, the manager's putting up, your 7, 8, 9 for that to do their thing, and they just don't come up at the end. So I just don't see that being the reason
Yeah.
of him, okay, 1 year, you're already gone. I just don't see it. I really don't.
And something I noticed with Espada is that he does like he. I feel he does make decisions that's best for the team, and he rises a hot hand. Like for example, I don't think that like I'm not comparing both of them, right? Because Dusty Baker's a Hall of Fame manager, and being a Hall of Fame, but I don't think we'll ever see Dusty Baker put Jerry Payne in that fourth hole, right? So it's just kind of like he's doing the best he can to get the right people in the right spot in the right situation that lineup, and so far he's hit it with Caltech in that second spot. He's hit it. I think with that uh with Jordan Alvarez in that third spot, and we saw it today where
Mhm.
Caltech hits a double. What do they do? Walk Jordan Alvarez, brings your hottest hitter in the plate, which is Jerry Pena. So he's trying to make the right moves, trying to make the lineup around the best he can. I mean, he like you said, he's bringing this top guys out of the bullpen, high level situations to get their job, but it's just kind of like not unlucky breaks here and there. But again, I don't even this year. I would say next year, Joe Spada would probably be the manager, no matter how the season goes. If they miss the playoffs, they don't. I think you really can't judge Joe Spada off the season just with all he's had to go through in his first year.
Yeah, David Culley was kind of a different situation regards of not a lot of managerial experience. Obviously, he was a head. I think he was like a player development coach. I want to say.
And something like that with the Ravens.
I want to say something like that. So I mean that's two different aspects of it. But I'm just saying comparing how the season is going right now with injuries and because the Texans were dealing with the same issue. That's how it is. But I just don't see that happening. I really do not see the Astros going after a manager after they just got
Yeah.
their manager this past season because Dana Brown has a lot of trust in him and he knows he's going to make the right moves. Real quick, Angel, let's talk about that Ryan Presley thing. I mean, do you see that as if the team does like we've talked about it with Bregman and Valdez? Do you maybe see the Astros trading away Ryan Presley if they do become sellers?
That one makes much more sense than Bregman, I think. I mean, both of them make sense, I guess, if they are going to be setters, right? But like they said they're not going to be setters. But you know, I you never know with Andrew Brown what he might be hiding under his sleeve. Sometimes general managers say that to not put the clubhouse in a bad spot. Like, oh, they're already giving up on us, right, and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So I could see it if they're like drastically again. My key number is 10. Like remember I mentioned last, like 10 games under 500 or 10 games down in the division where they don't see it. Maybe I could see it, but like he said, like Dana Brown said, like they're not going to be sellers. So I don't see a move going in. But if the price is right, I wouldn't be surprised if Dana Brown pulls the trigger.
I wonder how like Ryan Presley would feel after, especially like how this season had turned out. They go and get Josh Hader, which we did talked about. Like he was a true professional about it, and allowing the Astros to go get Josh Hader from free agency, but being able to go and be in a setup role when you've been closing so many games for the Astros the past 2 or 3 seasons as the primary closer, and then you get traded away to the Orioles. I feel like, in my opinion, if I'm in that situation, I'd feel kind of disgusted. I'd feel honestly
Betrayed.
like betrayed. Yeah, that's the word I was trying to figure. Like that would hurt. That would be like a needle to the heart because you've done so much for the organization. Then what this year had just gone through, I think it would leave a bad taste in Presley's mouth. But I just do not see them selling unless it's really bad. And I think it'd
Drastic
be,
difference.
yeah, drastic. I think it'd be perfect sense to match him up in Birdland because the Orioles right now, how they're playing, and they're more of a competitive team than the Astros are right now. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
But
But again, I don't see it happening unless, like you said, it's like right out the picture.
yeah, Josh says the same thing like you. I don't see the Astros trading him or selling at the deadline. He did talk about a little bit about the Joe Spada situation. It's interesting how Spada could be given such a short leash on a team that is so talented. He said he heard it on the radio today and thought it was so overdone. Astro Wharf Craig said Dusty would give Bregman the day off tomorrow. Um, it's not like Presley would be traded to the Rockies. Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be obviously to a competitive team. And with the Orioles farm system, one of the best in baseball, I think it makes sense for the Astros to do that if they do become sellers, like we said.
Yeah, it's key. Yeah. But our last segment, around the horn, I think we got that pretty quick. I was gonna mention a new Statcast swing tech, but Lorenzo kind of hit that right in the nail on the coffin. He did a really good job. Giancarlo, it has the highest bat speed, which is 80.6. The next the next closest person is O'Neill Cruz with 77.7. So kind of like a 3 mile per hour difference, which is crazy. But I think Astros Astros caught a glimpse of that bat speed from Giancarlo Stanton after he smashed that ball almost 120 uh, miles per hour, right? I mean, now that makes sense, right? Because the first Astro on that list is Jordan Alvarez with 75.9. He ranks 11 on that Statcast swing track. So interesting to see. And again, like I said, I think Altuve's in that 60s. I'm trying to get the right number right now. I think he's like 68, 60 something. Oh, 68.8 for Altuve.
Just imagine catching a 120 miles per hour ball from Stanton. You're breaking something, barehanded especially.
That hand's gonna be red. Might be swollen.
It's not gonna be red. It's gonna be a broken finger.
But Paul also made his debut. I think he's been like people were comparing his start like before he even touched the mound, like comparing him to this, Steven Strasburg's outing. But it's just kind of crazy how much talented Steven Strasburg was. I think he got 14 strikeouts
Yeah,
in
something
his
like that.
debut.
Double digits for
But
sure.
yeah, Paul Skeens, didn't fare as well as how Steven Strasburg did, but he did pitch 4 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts through 17 pitches over 100 mile per hour, and he got what's his name from the Cubs, from Japan,
Uh, Japan?
or it's Korea, one of those, Suik, something like
No.
that. But he got him.
Oh, he probably came off the. I thought he was on the IL.
No, he was playing, and he made him look silly with that slider. I don't know if you saw it, but that
No,
swing
I
looked.
didn't. He has a different pitch too. I think it's like a split finger splat sat splat
I'm about
slash
to tell you right
something else. It's a you never hear the pitch before, so I don't know, but
now. They have it as a split finger
Oh, it's
on
called. I
Sidecast.
don't know. He had said something about that. I might look into it real quick.
Yeah, but he looked good.
Mhm.
He was dotting up the fastball at 101 miles per hour, and his off speed was pretty good. He looked good. Bright future ahead of him. And then while Lorenzo finds that, our last thing is the Cleveland Guardians released their City Connect jersey. Personally, I like them. I think they kind of look a little bit like the traditional jersey with the three stripes, but I like it.
I think it. I mean, it pays a montage for Cleveland, and they had mentioned about it like when you go to Progressive Field, you would see these statues. I don't know if you saw when Kid Cudi kind of had narrated and explained kind of the
I
details
didn't see the
about it.
video this time.
Yeah, they did a video on the Cleveland Guardians Twitter page. MLB had did something too, explaining the whole thing about it. But yeah, it's not bad. It's not a top 5 or a top 10 for me, but
Mhm.
I mean, it's not. It's weird though because every jersey now for the City Connects are starting to have 3 letters. The Mets have NYC. The Guardians has
Pittsburgh.
COE. Pittsburgh has PGH. I know there has to be another one. I know there's another one. Washington WSH for
Does it?
the Japanese blossom,
The cherry blossom.
the cherry blossom. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, so
Do they have
yeah,
the
Washington has
what?
it. Washington has it. So there's been a lot of 3-letter. I mean, what? I mean, when the Astros have their second City Connect, since the Dodgers are having
Oh
theirs,
yeah.
is it gonna have HOU? It's kind of like the creativeness of these City Connect jerseys are just starting to dial down. Like they're not getting creative like they were in the beginning.
I don't know if you saw there's a leak, and typically the leaks have been pretty accurate. That the Dodgers would be kind of like Disneyland type of thing.
There have been so many jokes from Astro fans about uh, the
The Mickey,
Disneyland Dodgers. Yeah, the Mickey Mouse
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, there's been a lot of jabbering about that. But I mean, it's kind of accurate. I mean, they do have Disneyland over there in LA, which actually is not
Mhm.
even in LA. It's in Anaheim. So if
Yeah.
anybody should have
Well,
it, it's the Angels.
the Angels. Yeah.
Last one, and Cardinals manager Olive Marmot and bench coach Daniel Descalso were both ejected the other day. Ollie was especially yeah, that one was crazy. I don't know if you saw that
I
on
didn't.
social.
What? Shout out to Petraj for doing our work.
Yeah, I saw that one actually. I just didn't put it on there on our outline, but Marmot was just letting it out at the home plate umpire. I don't know what was the discussion about because I think he had won a challenge, and after that, I mean, all hell broke loose. Daniel Descalso got mad, and then yeah, Marmot just got up and just started talking his talk. Gotta love baseball. Gotta love
Yeah.
baseball.
Absolutely.
But that is the end of our show. Of course, like we said, we're doing a preview of the Oakland Athletics. They did win game 1, the Astros, and this, like we talked about before, this could be a winnable series for them. Possible sweep. The Astros just got to continue doing what they're doing. They're really on a roll right now with a 2-game winning streak. They've been winning a lot of games in their last 10 games as well. So this could be a turnaround for the Astros, but at the same time, too, you just never know what can happen.
Okay. I mean, kind of like I've been giving Sunday, right? Any given series can change your season around. So hopefully this is the right track for the Astros.
Yeah, definitely some last comments before we end our show. Asherworth, Craig, good night. Have a good weekend, gentlemen. And then Joshua, of
Same.
course, you guys are the absolute best. But like I said, this
Appreciate
is the
that.
end of our show. We'll have that preview of the Milwaukee Brewers. That should be a great series for the Astros. Competitive series, I would say, too. They'll probably see a lot of good pitching against a good competitive Milwaukee team. But yeah, we'll have that preview. We'll recap this A series on Thursday night. Angel, you got anything else before we sign off?
No, just thank you for hearing us out. Thank you for all the comments. We enjoy having these conversations, and thank you for listening, and appreciate you. How many subscribers we're at today? Oh, I think I was zoned out,
Y'all
but
have a good
that's
week.
pretty much. Oh, there you go. I thought you zoned out.
You got me now.
You got you now.
Okay, cool. Until then, we'll have that preview for the Milwaukee Brewers on Thursday night. Get that preview going, recap the A series, and y'all have a blessed week.
Peace.